hour, and we are here to showcase lasting marriages, to let the world know that marriages are still working today.
Correct.
And this month of February is season of love. Especially the Valentine period where people express love in giving of gifts, showing and expressing their love to their spouses and their girlfriends. And we are here to tell you that there is a way to do that regularly. There is a way you make it your lifestyle.
Yes.
There is a way you do it that it becomes every day. Valentine becomes a daily occurrence. It becomes a lifestyle. So you keep giving, you keep expressing love to each other every time. And that is what we are talking about.
That's what we are here for.
And I want to welcome specially again on this show my husband, my sweetheart, my number one fan. He enjoys my messages, he enjoys the ministry, anything administration, even before any other person. And he's always supportive. Thank you very much. And I want to say happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Wow, you are growing younger. Happy birthday, long life and prosperity in Jesus' name. You shall celebrate many, many more decades on earth in Jesus' name. And we shall be together forever. We shall celebrate your 80th birthday together. We shall celebrate 90th if Jesus tarries in Jesus' name. So I thank God for your life, and we appreciate you. We celebrate you now and always. We always celebrate you. You are a great man of God. Yes. So let's go back to why we are here today. So we've started with intimacy part 1. I remember we talked on, what is intimacy really. We talked about different types of intimacy, how we can achieve them. We talked about physical, we talked about spiritual, we talked about intellectual, we talked about experiential intimacy. And we gave examples and we gave practical, examples of what we do that can make us, close as husband and wife. And last week, I remember we brought a couple.
We invited the couple.
Yeah, to come, and some of us actually, got back to me and gave me some wonderful feedback. About last week. I want to say thank you for everyone, those who called, those who sent text, those who are appreciating what we're doing. We say thank you very much. God bless you. We believe this show is making impact in your home and in your marriages. And I want to say thank you to singles listening to us, because you are building up wisdom, to run your home. It's very important that if there is no 4 years or 5 years BSc in marriage, to study marriage or to study how to be successful in your marriage, then these are the things you listen to that can really, really help you go into seminars, listen to shows like this.
Yeah, I will encourage the couples to watch the show over and over again. It's about intimacy. There's a lot to learn. Even the ones that we are forgetting, it can be a reminder.
Yeah. So now we say thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Bankole Dada. It was fun last week hearing them again. And they also let us know that it's not a day job. To arrive at that level of intimacy in marriage, it's not something you just, get overnight. It's a lot of work, and it's not too late for you to start. It doesn't matter where you are now, you can achieve it if you both want it. So and myself and my husband, we analyzed something after the show that actually we as couple, we are close. We are very close. There's nothing I can't discuss with my husband. He's 5 years older than me, but you won't know. You won't know because I'm free. I'm not, my husband is not the type that you have to nail down to do this. You have to look, because of that age bracket, you have to just like everything have to be sa. I respect him, but I don't have to like not be myself because I want to show respect all the way or by all means. That's what I mean. So I am free. Anything that will make me not to, say something, that means there is a problem that we need to resolve, because I'm always free to talk to him. And Mr. Bankole Dada and the wife are also very close. But we discovered one thing, that we both arrive at this level, at the level, not at the same pace.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two is that we didn't even take off at the same place. They have been friends from uni or from school. God brought myself and my husband together. You know, he was somewhere praying for a wife. I was somewhere also as a new young believer, trusting God for husband. So God brought him into the scene. I received that he's going to be my husband, and he also prayed about it. Proposed to me. Where am I going? Okay, if I met my husband as a young believer, and he also met me in the Lord, that means both of us are actually coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
And for us to now deal with all the differences and all the past and break all those barriers, to arrive here, I think we did much more work than somebody who have actually been friends. We didn't even cut. We cutted on phone. Myself and my husband, got introduced to each other on phone. And that was it for 1.5 years. He came home and we got married 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
The story is for another day. Yeah, we got married maybe less than 3 weeks after meeting my husband physically. But we've connected, in the spirit. And we let's say we've been praying together on phone. We've been doing things, exchanging emails and things like that. So it's really a lot of work. So why am I starting with this? I want you to know that it doesn't matter where you started from. I'm trying to let someone who is saying, Boba and Kole Dada has been friends from secondary school to university. That's why they have that form of, close intimacy. I am saying myself and my husband never met before. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. I didn't know his family. And we didn't go to any school together. I went to girls only. He went to boys only. So we met in the Lord.
Yeah.
And when when you meet someone and you say sister or brother, we shouldn't be carried away. We have past.
Yeah.
I have my past. My husband has it, even though his past wasn't too much because he's giving his life to Christ earlier, but he still had past. A lot of stories that we exchanged and we discussed. So arriving at the point where both of you are able to talk about anything at all, without, any fear of being judged or anything, it's work. And I believe that there are many people listening to us that really, really desire to be at that level of intimacy, and you are going to achieve it. Just make sure you listen to part 1 of this, listen to part 2, and this is part 3. And by the end of today, I believe with that and with the help of the Holy Spirit, with cooperation with your spouse, because it takes two to work it out. Yes, can
work together
except they agree. So that is it. You need to agree.
That
That's
agreement
is important. Yes. So going forward today, I want to remind you of some things about intimacy.
Yeah.
Trust is important. Trust. So what can you say when you're talking about intimacy? Can there be intimacy in marriage without trust?
It's not possible. The foundation of every relationship, whether it's friendship, whatever, boss, worker, employee, any kind of relationship, there must be a level of trust.
That's true.
And marriage, because it's a lifetime relationship, the trust is the fundamental one. So for you to be intimate, there must be trust, because intimacy is about closeness, it's about getting to know each other deeply, it's about being naked and not ashamed.
That's true.
That trust must be there. Without that trust, there can't be any intimacy.
But marriage without trust cannot withstand the test of time.
No.
It's just a matter of time that marriage might collapse, because you need to trust
the foundation
each other.
Is shaky.
Yes, you need to trust each other, and it's the ability to be transparent. Without trust, you can't be transparent.
Yeah.
And without transparency, you can't be intimate. Without you being vulnerable to your spouse, you can't actually be close. So trust is important. And if you're listening to me, you are saying, well, he actually betrayed my trust. He did something very terrible. it's something that can be rebuilt. If you really want your marriage to be back to the level where it was before, you just ask God to help you and work on it. Both of you can work on it if your spouse is ready to not to do that same thing again. That is, when you do something maybe by mistake or you fall into error, and because of that you are now holding on to it, you are not ready to let go, then you are not ready to build intimacy.
I want to say this also, that while a broken trust that needs to be rebuilt, it takes double effort and double patience. When it's broken and somebody is trying to restore it, you need to be extra patient, and that person also needs double effort
to always
rebuild.
prove, always prove to the wife that I have told you I'm not going back to it, and I won't go back there. So let's quickly mention some of those things that show that you are really close as husband and wife. Number one is that you can, you can discuss anything. You can, any topic, you can talk about any topic at all, whether is money, sex,
in-law,
you talk, and also on your passion, on your values. Even when you have different opinions, it doesn't affect your love for each other. That is, it shows that you are very, very close. And you don't just communicate. If you have intimate relationship, you connect, you find a common ground to connect. That is, you compromise when you see that, oh, this person is not happy with my decision, or oh, we need to meet at the middle. So you have you put that your spouse, you put your spouse in what do I call it now, you consider your spouse, you consider him or her before you conclude on anything. That is, you don't just do things without checking whether my spouse is happy with it or not. So it's important that you find a common ground to connect as husband and wife. Then you create a safe place. Practical ways I'm just sharing now, is that you create a safe place, not a place where it's judgmental, not a place where you blame game. Not if your marriage is all about whose fault,
who is always right,
who is always then it won't be a safe place. Or if you are still holding on to what your spouse has done 7-8 years ago, you keep talking about it even when this person is struggling to change or is really working hard.
You won't be intimate.
Because you've already made it known or clear that it will be worse even if I fall into another error, because she's holding on to the one I did and I'm not finding it easy. So that has closed door to intimacy. So what do you want to say anything about that?
No,
so learning to trust each other is very, very important. I think we need to, if you're listening to me, you don't trust your spouse because of some past happenings or incident or circumstance, try as much as possible to talk about it and walk past that stage. Walk and push yourself. And it might be difficult. Some people listening to me now, they are thinking if we need to address our own issue, it will even escalate. Now, first go before the Lord and pray about it, and by the time we finish, I'm going to discuss some things with us that can help us even to address these issues one by one, because all we are looking at is how we can have a lasting marriage, and how we can express love and affection every time, or not just on February or Valentine's Day. So we need to also start studying. Couples who are intimate, they've studied each other. They study. I know my husband very well. I know him very well. I know maybe some of the families might be thinking, I know Yomi that many of them knew 20 years. It's not the Yomi of today. I know him now because we sleep and wake up together. So to the glory of God. And I can say a lot about him that many people don't know about him. So you need to study your spouse to know. And that study does not end. I always say it doesn't end. So it doesn't matter how many years you've been in marriage. Keep studying each other. It's really, really important. So study your spouse personality, whether it's D, whether it's I or S or C personality, study, because all this contributes to what you're going through. And they are not, it's not every time that is demon, it's just understanding. We need to get wisdom. Even above all, we need to get what? Understanding. That understanding is very important. How do you get understanding without knowledge? You can't.
Understanding in marriage is very important because some people, they are just faced with surprises every day. They see this, say, they see another, they say, But if there is there is understanding, you won't be surprised why you are trying to fix those things.
Yes. So understanding is important. And I said, for you to get understanding, you need to get knowledge. So where do you get the knowledge from? It's through study. You study your spouse. When you see that these are my husband's personality traits, go and get a book or go on Google about these personality traits and read about them. Why do they snap? Why do they get angry? Why is it?
What are the issues
why
that
is
bring
it escalate? Why? Or why is it that he doesn't, conclude or make decisions so
or
easily?
he doesn't want you to go to a particular area?
Like myself, I make decisions immediately when I want to do something. My husband, it takes him like, forever to say yes, go ahead, or to make decision. And we are like, please, how many years we've been on this thing? For a long time. He wants to be sure, and he wants to think about it.
Want to justify
he wants
it.
to sleep over it. He wants me. That issue I have been praying already. So when the result is coming, or it's time for me to take action, that's not the time for me to be praying. It's time for me to swing into action. And when I want to jump, it's like, leave it for 2 days. I said, this is just God. So we are not the same. So we need to actually understand that. And once we understand that we are not the same, it will help us in our relationship. And also, one thing I would say, when you say physical intimacy, to man and to woman is different. It's not the way we handle intimacy. For a woman, is emotionally attached. When you give woman attention, to just share her mind to you, she's already on top of the world. But the man wants the thing. So it's not about going in the other room. It's about a woman. You are showing a woman an affection. You are telling her that how beautiful. That card he gave me on Valentine, I said, I'm the most beautiful woman in the world or something.
Ever created.
God, oh my God, lovely. Even though I know that there are many, many beautiful women, but hearing that from my husband it goes a long way. So what am I trying to say? We need to study each other, understand the makeup of a man and a woman, and know that it's not the same. And that's why we react or behave the way we behave. Thank you very much. Or couples that are also close, they do something, they discuss their fears. So if you want to really get to that level where there is nothing you can talk about, then can you please find time prayerfully and talk about those things? Try as much as possible. It might be challenging because you've actually been trying to, go away from it. Trying to sweep it under the carpet because you want the what do you call it now, to just lie there. Dog lie. Thank you for helping me out. So, but I'm telling you, that has been the barrier. That has been why you have not been, closer than you are now. And if you want your marriage to get to another level, then you need to actually break that, barrier.
Yeah, talking about barriers, there are so many barriers that is preventing intimacy in many marriages.
Yeah, that's true.
Those barriers must be broken. If they are not broken, you won't be intimate. And the relationship, you won't get the best out of it.
That is true. So when you are talking about intimate couple or intimacy in marriage, we are talking about husband and wife that give every time. They keep giving. They keep giving. There's nothing like 50-50. No. If you need to give me 80 and I have 20, So far, we make up to 100. It doesn't matter who is giving
more.
Who is giving more. All what we want to do is to make it, 100%. That we are giving the full attention and we are doing things to the best of our knowledge, our ability, and that's what makes intimacy in marriage. That means if today I'm the one that have got the best job, the best income, and we use it, next time he's out of job, there is no problem. There's no cause for alarm because I am there or he is there. So that is it.
What you just mentioned now is very important because some people have some percentage in their mind, and we don't know where those percentages came from. Somebody just say we are 50-50. Someone say, okay, I'm husband 60-40. They are just things that we create on our own.
It brings barrier.
There shouldn't be any percentage like that. This thing must be fixed. This problem must be solved.
Exactly.
That should be the drive.
Exactly. That is true. So the interest of the home or the couple should be, how do we solve this problem? And who has the tool or the ability? So if it's you now, you solve it. If it's me, I solve it.
Yeah, I want to give this example of the Nigerian woman, that great woman, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
Yeah.
Somebody just put something today that, what about the husband? She is happily married, blessed with children.
Is blessed.
Definitely, this woman is at the center of the world now. Influential, powerful, full of a lot of things that she's doing. Busy also.
It takes a great man.
It will be wrong for her, for people to be talking of the man should contribute 50 or so. No, at this point,
the man is doing what he needs to do for the home.
Yeah.
To keep running.
Even if possible, the man might have to resign from what he's doing
look after other
and
things.
make sure that he supports this woman 100% now.
That is what marriage is all about.
That's what marriage is all about.
So it's not about
the husband should contribute 80 or 30 or 20. Amen.
That is it. And it has actually brought barrier into many marriages and has not made many couples to be as close as they should, because the respect that some men are actually looking for, they are not getting it. Not because we should respect men because of the fact that God has made them the head. That's true. But when your wife, you are already telling your wife to bring certain amount, or you must contribute this, based on where you live or the part of the country. I pray God bless all our husbands.
You are putting a cap
exactly
on your progress.
Let your wife see that you are doing your best, to be whom God has created you to be the priest of the home and to provide for your family. And a good woman, a godly mother or wife will bring everything possible to support that man. Yeah. So that is how what it should be in a family, or let me say with couples who are very, very close. Yeah. And another one that happens to intimate couples like us, because I believe if we can say we can give ourselves 70% or 80%. Yeah, because I believe that.
I believe we are between 75 and 80.
Oh, yeah. So you can also give yourself, Marco.
I personally, I live my dream in marriage.
So you can actually, I always tell people this. Where are you? Let me quickly do the exercise with you before we move on. Where are you in your marriage now? Look at when you got married. What were those things that you were actually looking forward to? I'm not talking about unrealistic goals. Yeah. I'm talking about you, both of you, saying we would like to do this in the next 10 years. Yeah. We would like to be here. We want an enviable marriage where people look at us and say, oh, I want this kind of marriage. Now that is what your dream was 7 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Now, where are you now? Look at where you are now. Yeah. What mark can you give yourselves as a couple from a range of 1 to 10? Yeah. Now, can you give yourself 4? Can you give yourself 5? Can both of you give yourself 6? It does not matter the mark now. Yeah. What matters is what can we do to arrive at what we desire in our marriage. Now, both of you, this exercise I do when I go to preach. I do it most of the places where I go invite me to preach. I always tell you, when you're talking about marriage, it's about you and me. So it's not just marriage. It's marriage. When you are talking about marriage, is about you and your partner.
Yeah.
So as soon as you change, the marriage improves.
Mm.
So it's the marriage is bad because you are not doing anything. So that means that both of you identifying what you need to do to arrive at that enviable state or arrive at that place you both want. Listing it is one. Another one is what are the action plan?
Yeah.
So what do you do to achieve it? If you can do what I've said now regularly, there is no way that your marriage will not be worked upon.
It's not enough to discuss about the
No. You have to act on it.
Action. You have action plan on how to solve it.
So now, from graduating to where were you? Where are you now? And where are you going? I want to share something interesting with you today as we round up on intimacy in marriage part 3. And Apostle also would, share with us as we round up on this. And I call it SWOT in marriage. SWOT in marriage. I know many of us, we've had SWOT in business. You've had it before. SWOT analysis, business manager, business analysts, project managers. Many people use it, in doing. And I've also said before that before you go into any business, they tell you to go and bring business plan. I wish they asked us to bring business plan when we wanted to get married. Many of us would have actually dropped the idea of getting married and go for another 3 years to learn more on what they want to go embark upon. So the fact that God has given us the privilege to get a certificate before learning does not before learning doesn't mean that we should take our marriage for granted. So SWOT analysis stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, and it's a SWOT model or analysis is used in most businesses. And I want to put it to you that anything that will last, like anything that you need to build to last, anything that you need to work on for a long time, SWOT analysis is needed. Jesus said to the people, he said, I'm doing my father's business. So yeah, I'm about my father's business. So if you want to be successful in your ministry, then it has to be taken as business. That is as a serious business.
So marriage is a serious business.
That's where I'm going. So I am trying to let you know that marriage is a serious business. It's not a joke. It's not rice and beans. So if you take it as serious business, then you can as well SWOT your marriage. You can as well use this analysis even. And I want to congratulate those who are just getting married. It's a perfect time to do this.
Yes.
But those of us, the earlier you do it, in fact, do it regularly. But those of us who will be 20 years in marriage, it's still not bad for us to do it, because we want to also enjoy our marriage more and more. We want it to be better, stronger, and sweeter. So we are 20 years now. We want to be 40 years celebrating even more intimacy. And that's what we desire. So I want all of us to listening to me. I want us to do this exercise together. So if you do it with me now or with us now, fine. But if you want to do it later, just make sure you do it, and it will help you in your intimacy with your spouse. So you just have to take a sheet of paper and draw, what do you call it now? Rule
tabular form.
Yes, into 4.
Yeah.
And you do S for strength, W for weaknesses, O for opportunity, and T for threat. So I said here the what do you call strength and weaknesses, they are internal, they are something that are affected internally. They are things that are helpful, that's the strength, helpful to your marriage. Things that are helpful to your relationship. You need to identify it.
Things that makes it stronger.
Yes. Every one of us, we have that. We have strength. We have area of strength. And that's what sharing your unique story is all about. Bringing people on this platform, to interview. It's not because they're the best, it's because they have strong uniqueness.
I was gonna say a lot of people shy away from couples that are not because their marriages are not doing well, but because they think those who come on show they are perfect. No, they are not perfect. We celebrate the strength of their marriage. That's what it's all about. You have a strength.
That is true. So if a couple, they are ready to work on their marriage to make it work, and they both still agree that we value this marriage and we are going to make sure we keep it, and we are going to be together till Jesus comes, or till death do us part, you are qualified to come on our show. So it's work in progress, and we bring you to celebrate, your togetherness and your uniqueness. And so don't run away and say, oh, me, I'm not qualified to be there. I believe there is something about you that the world needs to hear that will help somebody's marriage.
Amen.
Yeah. So weakness is, what are those things that are harmful, to your relationship? What are those things that they are not helping, in your marriage, that is maybe about you or about your spouse, that you need to work on? And opportunities are those things maybe that are available to you that you need to look for improvement in your marriage, and threats. And this is the area that need really
whatever can put your marriage asunder.
Yes, they are threats. So at that point, you need to actually both of you need to talk to each other. Why are we doing SWOT on our marriage? Because I don't want this activity or exercise to create problem. If you know that your spouse is not mature enough to sit with you and do this, maybe you should not do it at this time and wait for the right time to do it. Because for husband and wife to sit down and do SWOT analysis, they must be ready to move forward.
And they must be honest.
Yes, you have to, yes, you must be honest, you must be ready to move forward in your marriage. So doing the SWOT analysis, you must talk about communication. You are looking at sex, you are looking at finances, you are looking at parenting, you are looking at in-laws and family interference, you are looking at spiritual growth, development. All these things, you have to put them in the right section, even as you start. So you look at your exercise, well-being, passion, hobby, holidays, celebration. So now let's go to strength. We need to talk about our strength. Most marriages are not enjoying, most couples are not enjoying their marriage because they ignore, or let me say they despise. Thank you for that English. They look down on their strength, really. Now, SWOT will make you to bring out your strength.
And the unfortunate thing is that they see the strength of others and appreciate them and applaud them, but they look down on their own strength.
So now, what are those internal, positive attributes to your marriage? There are things that are within your control, and you and your spouse can actually build on to make your marriage even stronger. So as I'm talking to you now, begin to think about those things. What are those things that we can, that is with us, that already in our marriage, that is helping us? What are those strengths? So let me, there are some questions that you can ask, like what areas of our marriage are working well? That is very important. You need to look at it. What areas? Some people, when you see them, their intimacy is at the top, but they are not good in parenting. You'll be shocked. Unfortunate, because it's as if they did not try their best, but in that area, is it that because both of them were brought up differently in different background, and they are clashing every time on how to raise children, and children capitalized on it and they didn't get it. So what are the areas of your strength? Ask questions, that will help you to be able to know. Is it in problem solving? For example, like Bankole Dada said, before my wife even tell me you offend me, I've said sorry.
Sorry already.
It's a strength.
It is.
Ability to forgive easily.
Yes.
Saying sorry, finding it easy to talk about, problems and say sorry is a strength. So what are those strengths? What things do we have in common that we both enjoy?
Yeah.
Now, we are trying to, those questions will bring out your strength. Work on that. It's very, very important. For some people, they have some hobbies, that are similar, and that bring them together regularly is a strength. You need to know what unique differences make us even get together better. Like a couple said, my husband likes gifts and I like service. I like you to, my love language is helping me, act of service, helping me out, in things around the house and things I want to do. And the husband really, really appreciate, giving of gifts. So that is a strength. You know why? Because the man, the man is doing happily, with joy what the woman wants, and the woman find it so easy, even to get the man the gift, a problem,
and he enjoys it.
and the woman is also solving a problem, and that is also a strength, to ability to be able to find the differences, and that bring you both together in a better and way. So yeah, these are things that you are really happy with in your marriage. That's strength. You make this as general or as specific. So if you know that getting deeper can create uncomfortability, or you see that, oh, we can't just arrive at this, you can start gradually by talking about general things. But if you can go deeper, please do, because the deeper you go in this discussion, the transformation you're going to see in your marriage, you'll be shocked because of this analysis. So communication is some people's strength. They communicate so well. Some is kindness. They're just kind to each other. The man is kind. No matter how I behave, he's still very kind to me. That's a strength. Being kind to each other. So yeah, sexual satisfaction, physical health.
Yeah.
Those are strengths to some people.
Some people in the area of sexual satisfaction, the man is so satisfied that he complains about nothing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That strength makes the marriage to be stronger and the man complains less.
Yes, and also the fact that even if there are issues to be resolved, it still does not resist them from still enjoying each other.
Yeah.
Because they separate issues from their conjugal rights. That's also a strength.
Yeah.
So all that should be looked into. Also, strength are the fact that you have common faith. Maybe you both go to the same church. That's a strength as well. The fact that
Christians.
yes, both of you, and if you both desire to study, personal growth, you are doing things, it's also a strength. You need to look at all those. Let's now go to weaknesses. Weaknesses
This
are
is tricky.
they are negative factors that weakens marriage.
Yeah.
They are little things that either it's from you or from your spouse that come together, that you people have to honestly, sincerely talk about. You recognize it, write them down, and deal with them.
Deal with it. If you don't deal with it, it will deal with you.
Exactly. So these are things that you like to see improve in your relationship. You know that you have these weaknesses, but you want things to get better. You don't want it to just be there. So you need to talk about it. But I don't want you to argue in the process. Yes.
I remember when we newly got married, my wife said, I shout. When I disagree, I shout.
You still shout.
That's weakness.
You still shout, MD. Maybe I'm used to the shout now. That is the only difference. But you still shout. But I used to cry. I didn't go back to my parents. I didn't tell them what I was going through. But each time he's shouting, I'm thinking, you are not talking to one of your friends. This is your wife, for crying out loud. So now you still shout, Apostle, but I'm used to it.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So yeah, I'm sure maybe I will have my own too. My children tell me I shout too. But what we are trying to say is that
parents shout.
We all have weaknesses. We all have it. Don't be deceived by the fact that we have come to lead this discussion. Don't be deceived. We have our weaknesses. He told you his own. Maybe can you tell me? Maybe remind me of mine. Don't be shy. Say it. Say it. Is there anyone?
I think the area of spending, I wish you could.
I'm a shrewd person.
No, you are more reluctant to spend.
Okay, so now
Any little thing you say, buy two there. Just even if it's one she needs, you say make it two.
Because the money is there. So my husband is saying my own area of weakness now is the spending habit.
Yeah.
Now,
she's not reckless, but anything she wants to buy, instead of her to even say, okay, let me think about it. Do I really need it? She will have bought it before she even thinks about it.
Wow. But most of the things, are they for personal consumption or for the family?
What if we don't need it?
He's not talking about. He's not talking about.
We
if I see something good for the family,
we don't need it.
and I buy, you think so? But if a wife is saying this is needed, MJ, please don't let us come there.
Right.
Now it's good. So we are not fighting. No, we are trying to talk on weaknesses.
Yeah.
You see, and this is going to be a good example for you. You see that in the process of talking about each other's weakness now, we are dragging it. I'm trying to justify myself. That is not true. Before I buy things or whatever I buy, most of the time they are not my thing. It's either for the ministry or for the family.
Yeah.
Before I think about myself, if I enter any store and I'm looking at clothes for my children or looking at clothes for him or shoe for him, so before it now comes to me, so it's not as if. But when I buy the shoe, I don't want to tell him how much I bought shoe for him. Now, for example, the latest one is the hamper I just prepared myself for him for Valentine.
So
my husband is saying he has not taken that kind of coffee before in his entire life. Now, I didn't bother to tell him how much that coffee cost me, because I believe that is
designer coffee
is one of the best, best gift God has given to me. So I put place value on that, and I bought the coffee, the most expensive coffee on the shelf. Now that is me. Now, to express how much I value him. But honestly, if we went to the shop together, my husband would have picked the maybe 99p coffee and say coffee is coffee. But now, since Valentine, he's not resting. This coffee, I said, leave me alone. No, just enjoy your coffee. And and the wonderful thing about marriage is understanding, as I just said.
We laugh over it.
Exactly.
They will fighting over it.
Yes, you don't have to. It's just to express yourself as husband and wife. So let's move on. Weaknesses is good for you to discuss it. So what are those questions you need to ask to probe you to be able to answer? Are there some limiting aspects that I bring into marriage? So what are those things that have been there that you brought in? Laziness. Please don't. Now, your wife is like your doctor. Your husband is like your doctor that can help you. So I'm a lazy person. So I've seen, but it can be worked on. Yeah, being laid back can be worked on. And that's why when you see some spouse now going up and down, you are not comparing yours to him, or comparing your husband to their husband, to that person's husband. Exactly. So you just let your spouse know and put it down. SWOT analysis, you can do it together, or you can also do it separately and now bring it to discuss. So whichever one is comfortable for you. I would prefer to do it together. But if you know you want to go and do it on your marriage separately and on your own, then you now come and discuss the result. That's also fine. So some, I said laziness, bankruptcy. So some have already, the business has gone bad before they got married. Things have gone out of hand. They are already in debt, and now they are married. So those are the weaknesses now. Those are these things that need to be, dealt with for the marriage to get better. Maybe sickness. You already know, or maybe you have aging parents, or you have so many siblings, 9 younger ones. And for some people already it's a weakness, because they are thinking now, what is going to happen. So how do you undo those 9 siblings? How will it not affect our marriage and the relationship we have? So we are talking about weaknesses, in marriage. Even geographical location, that is, you work in Canada I'm in Nigeria. Now, how are we going to do it? It's a weakness. Because now, and this man or this woman is not even good in communication. So you stay apart and you don't even call. There's some relationship, it's difficult to get across each other. If you are not living together, then every day you should always communicate. It should be. So if you don't know how to communicate and you are not staying together and you are married, then that's a weakness that needs to be dealt with as well. Are there personality traits that are causing problem in your marriage? Selfishness. That is, you think about yourself alone, me, and me. You need to deal with it. Are you very aggressive? Are you the type that gets angry and spoil things? These are weaknesses that need to be talked about, and that you need to map out how to, get yourself out of it.
A woman once complained about her husband, who is a lawyer, that he wins every argument in the house.
That's not healthy.
Weakness. That is weakness.
It is, because marriage is not about who wins arguments. It's about both of you, reaching and making sure that at the end of the day you are fair, in your judgments, and it's not about winning arguments. So that person still need to go and learn, what marriage is all about. So are you the woman that nag every time? You can nag for America, you just nag for the whole world. You need to identify that, and now start studying how to deal with nagging, so that you can have a better marriage. So these are the weaknesses that some of them, yours might not even be this, but make sure you list them. Let's move to, okay, one of the weakness that I listed for myself, I didn't even remember that I put anything down, is independence. I'm very independent. It's a weakness as well. It's good for me to be strong and be able to do things, and it's good for my husband to trust my judgment. But being too independent might not be positive for a marriage. That is, I can do things, I can get things done. I don't, or even when he's there, I know he's there, but because I know I'm capable of doing it, and I'll go ahead and do it.
Maybe after a month you got to know that
she has done that he has solved results. So it's not really a positive thing for a man that expects you to give feedback or to even consult him for everything. And remember, marriage is about both of you agreeing together, deciding together on projects and things you want to do. So I am conscious, I'm the firstborn, and I think that's part of some of those things people need to consider when you are judging your partner. You need to know where someone is coming from, being the first in the family and handling the people that God has blessed me with, and handling situation right from my youth. That can also contribute to why I can do things without, looking for apostles to come and help me. But I need to understand that God has placed me there as wife, and I need to remember and acknowledge the headship in the home. So that, as good as it is, can be a weakness if I don't deal with it. Yes, some people have different temperaments, as we've said, and we need to also work on that. So let's go to opportunities. We've talked about strength, we've talked about weakness. We are now talking about opportunities. Opportunities are external factors in your marriage that can make your marriage better or stronger. So now, apart from your strength that you are able to identify, both of you, that this God has blessed us with, thank God for those things. Now, there are opportunities that are around you that are there for you to improve on your marriage. So what are those opportunities? The first that came to my mind is the lockdown. Can you believe that? The pandemic, the time that we've always been crying, there's no time, no time for holiday, no time for my husband, no time for my children. You have all the time now.
Work from home.
So we have all the time, and these are the things. There are so many things that we can now do with that time to improve our marriage. So what are you doing now? That's the question. Are you reading together? Do you now hang out as you should?
Yeah.
You know, those are the opportunities. List them. What are the opportunities in your own case? I want you to list them, especially opportunities in the area of your um weaknesses, those things that you mentioned. If there are opportunities to improve those things now seize the opportunity. Is very, very important. Are there people who can make us a better couple? So who are your role model? You know, maybe you have some couple around you that you never looked at. You now begin to look at them and see what are those positive things, what are the things they do that help them. You can ask them questions as well.
Then and watch the couple hour together.
Yes.
As many of them are.
Yes, many editions to do that. Yes, and they are all unique. Yeah, so you will always relate to one story or the other. Now, opportunities like events. Now, next Saturday, we are having 6th anniversary of My Marriage Must Work. Though we've been in ministry for almost 20 years, but My Marriage Must Work on its own in the UK started 2015. Yeah. So we are celebrating the 6th anniversary. And also, we are celebrating Extraordinary Love Evening. You know, we believe in celebrating love, but because of the love of Christ, ours is not just exchange of gifts. Ours is celebrating the love of Christ, and also the agape love with all other loves that are needed to make our marriage work. Yeah. And that's what we come together to share on the Extraordinary Love Evening or dinner that we do every year. So opportunities talk about you going for seminars, you know, going for training. Those are opportunities. Yeah. The fact that we have the Bible as Christian that we can read is an encyclopedia of life, of marriage even, and of life. So what's your problem? Carry your Bible and read, especially when you share the same faith with your spouse. I believe it's one of the opportunities. You go to the same church. What do you think? What are opportunities that comes to your mind in that we can talk about?
Yeah, there is enough time to discuss things together.
Yeah, this lockdown.
You can sit down, devote 2 hours to it, watch comedy together, things that make you laugh together, the things about your spouse that you have not really found out. You can find out about it. Watch the passion, things related to passion together. There's enough resource information out there.
That is it.
That doesn't cost you anything to get.
Especially this, if you Google anything at all, it's just
at your fingertips.
I'm telling you. So those area of your weaknesses, you can start, you know, working together to make it better. Yeah. You know, how can I deal with this? How can we deal with that? You will find out that the more knowledge you have, the better your marriage becomes. Yeah. The more knowledge, because devil cheats us in the area of our ignorance. So if you are suffering in your marriage now, it's because you lack knowledge. Yeah. Honestly, most of the time we need knowledge and we need understanding. So let's go to the last one because of our time. It's threats are external factors that tear marriages apart.
The Bible specifically says, let no man
put asunder. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. There are so many things apart from human being that can put asunder what God has joined together. Can you begin to list those things? Yeah. Is it a relationship outside your marriage that your spouse has been shouting, I'm not comfortable. If you need to choose, is it do you still value your relationship with your spouse? Do you still want that marriage, or you want that external that person that is intruding into your home?
Job.
I'm telling you, it could be it could be job. Maybe you need to change to a better job. Yeah. You know,
I once worked in a place in UK here. Everybody, all my colleagues have extra side chicks.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I had to leave it because I was the only odd person there. And they keep telling me that you will join us one of these days. That look at that one, look at that one. That was what he was doing when he first joined this company. You will soon join them. I left the place because I'm not comfortable.
It's really, really sad when you identify you are not able to identify things that threaten your marriage. Please, I want us to be as honest as possible. What are those things that are threats to your marriage? What are those things? List them.
List them.
It might be family.
Extensively list them.
I'm telling you, if your family, if extended family, if it's family interference, if it's in-law, just list them. And both of you will be able to work on those things threatening your marriage before they choke you, before they choke your marriage. The first step is to identify it. So I want to leave that with you. And that's the most challenging part of this SWOT analysis, because the threats can be scary.
It can kill the marriage.
It can be scary. In fact, bringing it out alone and identifying it can make you feel, oh my God. So this is where the devil has been, as
in some cases you put name of person
that you want to deal with out of that relationship. So it's very important. I believe you've been blessed today. Hallelujah. The last thing I want to say is it calls for action. It's not just about taking a sheet of paper and doing SWOT analysis for your marriage. You need to do what? Verbalize your action. You need to actually take this action, take it into action plan. So this is what you need to do. Act on them. Celebrate your strength and make sure you work on your weaknesses, and make sure the opportunities to make your marriage better, take advantage of it. And on your threats, make sure that you work on it and you have a healthy marriage.
Contact us for further
yes, we can actually have
next week. Talk about next week.
Wonderful.
In 15 seconds.
My husband is random. He's telling me to round up. Can you imagine? Yeah, I still remain the host of MMMW Couples Hour, and I thank God I have someone who is telling me time is up. It shows that I'm enjoying this show for myself, and I don't want to go. What I want to say is, see you next week. I know you've been blessed. See you next week for another edition. Now, this is part 3 is done. The next one is going to be back to our regular interview, MMMW Couples Hour. A couple is coming to share their unique love story. Please make sure you come and enjoy with your spouse. God bless you and have a wonderful week.